Damo, they have been harassing over some joke he made at an event a year and a half ago, or whatever it was. It's just ridiculous what's been happening out
there. Hey,
there you are. I was worried, mate.
I just got to say that it's been working constantly all day, and now suddenly it's not working.
It could be worse.
Yeah, there's but I do have some things to bring up and show you.
All right,
because this is from England.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do my best to get an answer, but I'm not sure I'm going to get one based on the two we've just heard. Without any kind of mandate, the government wants to do away with jury trials, and it wants to extend the powers of magistrates to sentence people for up to 2 years without any right to appeal, conviction or sentence. Can she confirm that last year, of 5,000 cases appealed from magistrates' courts, more than 40% were upheld? Is it the government's policy to simply live with this number of miscarriages of justice?
Yeah, I mean, this is this hate speech stuff you're seeing, that they want to push in Australia. I mean, obviously you and I would be in jail if we lived in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Well,
no doubt.
It's going to happen here, man. We just,
and they want to bring that in here. I mean,
yeah, they do.
And they're sending people to jail for like 2 tweets that reach 33 people. They get 2 years in jail. I mean, this is look, the problem is the government is criminal. And this is exactly a carry on from what we saw under COVID, mate. The government is behaving in a criminal manner. And then anyone who notices or complains, they're shutting up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, this is why, look, I'm about 50-50 in relation to Bondi, whether it was what it appears to be, because it could well have been. Or
I agree.
Or is it some kind of false flag where, I don't know, there's been different... We don't even know to go into the details, but we all know how false flags are done. There are ways to do it.
Can we talk about that? Because there's a madness to people. I'm sorry. People are going, it was all actors. No one got shot. They all acted.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Although this is funny. Now,
well, I think he deserves it. He deserves it. Best crisis actor. And look, it was a tough year this year. And I think he earned it, that Mr. Ostrowski. Look, he put in a stellar effort on the day.
I do.
No, tough competition. Seriously. No, it was a tough year. It was a tough year. A lot of competition, mate. And, look, he took the brass ring. And, I'd just like to salute his family. And I'll be going to, hang out with his rabbi later and congratulate him. So,
But could it be conceivable that you basically set up the environment?
I think that guy is suspicious. I think the event happened, obviously, right? The event happened and innocent people. But that particular guy was very strange. Whether he was legitimately injured or not, in a sense, that's what I would call oversourcing. You know what I mean? Like, when you've got, say, a French cook, he adds too much sauce, it's too rich. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the attack itself was so deeply shocking, you didn't need somebody there from Israel who had just so happened to have survived October 7. If you want to go and find out, you put this into ChatGPT. What are the odds of surviving 2 terrorist attacks? One on October 7 and one at Bondi Beach. A couple of friends of mine have already done it. It's something like 1 in a trillion. That's about winning. that's like winning.
But then at the same time, too,
5 times
to counterbalance that, surely if there was some apparatus behind all this, they would go, mate, you were there. No one's going to believe you're there. No. We need new faces.
Well, it's strange.
Can I tell you, this is
they
what
think we're dumb. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we are a little dumb because when they had the stabbing in Bondi, where that guy went nuts and started stabbing people, people were going, it's all actors. And I was going, okay, let's just think about that on a common sense level. Now you've got all these people running around who are not in on it. So you've got to have your actors who can act within these people who don't realize they're in a movie.
Yeah.
Then you have to find actors who are incredibly brilliant, who can act basically ad lib on the spot, who can deal with high octane situations, and yet no one's ever seen or heard of them. And after this is their only gig, and they get no credit.
Well, they get paid a lot, I imagine. But look, the interesting thing about that guy who got shot is that if you and I had been there and got shot in the head, first of all, even if we had some triage at the scene, we'd be like, please take me to hospital, because you never know. You know what I mean? Shot in the head. They've been shot in the head. Your first thought is, no, I'm not going on camera.
Yeah, let me.
The guy had got on camera.
I've been shot in the head. Go for hospital.
That's right. If the guy had, and also he'd been shot in the head and he takes a selfie on the ground. That was just odd. It was very strange. And that, to me, is oversourcing the meal. You know what I mean?
Well, shats up, though. The fact that he could remember his code to get into the phone
right.
probably made him think, hey, I'm still alive. So
that's it, No, I think that they went a bit too far there. And look, I actually watched it all live, you know what I mean? Because when these events happen, you want to sort of catch them out. And when I saw that guy, I immediately went, hang on a minute. Anybody like that, it was within the hour they had him on TV of the shooting being, and I thought anyone would be rushed to hospital. That was strange. And then obviously I didn't know anything more than, why is he being interviewed with this weird bandage on his head? You know what I mean? And then there were a few other ones. There was there's some young woman who had been a witness to it all, and she was like a model, and they had her on television for about 20 minutes, and you'll never see her again. But I thought her story was very strange. It seemed crisis actory. But I would say the majority of the event is real, of course, and now, it looks like the heroic guy, the guy who saved the day, he was real.
I haven't heard this bit. I heard the guy interviewed. He said he took the photo and sent his wife, I love you, not knowing whether it'd be last message to her.
Yeah, well,
you want to make sure she loved him, because she might go, yes.
Yes, that's right.
Got rid of that house is mine.
That's right. Maybe she's behind it. You know what I mean?
Or his brother.
Well, they blame Iran. They're blaming Iran already. I mean, you can see that coming a mile off. There's all this stuff, where they want to make certain phrases illegal. Now,
never let a crisis.
I'm sure you know.
Look at our friend Damo.
Look
at our friend Damo.
Perfect. Wasn't that ridiculous?
All the money they've spent trying to convict Damo, who was making a theatrical point because he's an artist, and so he was absolutely legitimately allowed to do it, and he was completely right. He wasn't joining any party or anything. He was just making a point.
Now think about this:
money trying to convict him, and these guys who are on an ASIO watch list with Arsenal in the house. No, we don't have the money for you because we're trying to get Damien Richardson. He's endangering society. Do you see what he does? He's not just changing light bulbs when he puts his hand up like that. He's trying to intimidate us.
I know. So, the government, the last 3-4 months, they've spent most of their time in relation to national security, pursuing this network of 100 people, which is the National Socialist Network. Joel Davis, they deported that guy to South Africa. Thomas Sowell. This group has never committed a terrorist attack. The most they've done is get into fights with Antifa at some of these anti-immigration rallies. That's it. They're not a threat to national security. They're basically just a bunch of patriots. Now, a lot of people might not agree with the radicality of some of their thinking, but I think they have the right to have those opinions if they wish to. And, it's like there's nothing wrong with it at all. And yet they spent, I don't know how many untold man hours pursuing this group, and yet nothing in these radical mosques. And we all know, look, believe me, you think those neo-Nazis dislike Jews, go talk to any Muslim and ask them off the record what they think of Jews. Believe me, they make Nazis look like they love them. Most Muslims do not like Jews. And we have about 1 million of them in this country at the moment. And they blame September 11 on them. They say October the 7th was false flag, blah, blah, blah. You talk to them, and I mean, of course, not all Muslims are radical, of course.
I've been sharing, there's been a lot of Muslims talking on Instagram, and most of them are going, we don't want this. We came here for peace. And they're actually telling the Muslims, this is what I've loved about it, the Muslims who are doing this are saying, hey, go back to the old country and fight it there. If you really care so much, take it there. That's where the battle is. Don't bring it here. This is our safe place. We want to bring our kids up here. So I've been seeing great unity. I haven't seen people on my feeds, and maybe other feeds, but on my feeds.
If you think about it, all these, there have been many, many Islamic terrorist attacks around the world, and there's been some in this country. There was the famous one at the Lint Cafe, and there's been a number of ones. There was that guy who went on a stabbing rampage, killed that guy who worked at Pellegrini's or whatever. There's been some serious actions in this country. But has the Muslim community ever benefited from this? No. If anything, each attack essentially makes people dislike Muslims, makes people not trust them,
yeah,
makes people Islamophobic. And, you know, I mean, and it's not, what the hell is wrong with being Islamophobic if these attacks are going on all the time? Should you not mistrust them? You know what I mean? Because it's just logical. If there's some group, believe me, I mean, if neo-Nazis were doing it, but of course they're not. Then this is why. And what did Aldo say? He said the far right. I mean, imagine the gall after that attack, coming out and saying the far right is the problem.
Look, I got a video of it. Look, I got this.
Play that, mate.
This is the next one. But before we do, tell me how this isn't a form of terrorism. Now I know we're joking, but this is it. We saw your meme step outside. This is happening in England, and I got this woman here.
Officers turned up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd left my front door open.
So she got arrested for texting an insult about a man who attacked her.
I was waiting for my dad.
Well, you can play that later, but they had 11 police officers break into a house while she was in the bath. They came into the bathroom with her.
No, it's ridiculous. And, you know, I mean, look, I don't know what new laws that the government wants to bring in, you know, but they're talking about banning the phrase from the river to the sea, which is something that pro-Palestinian people say.
Banning of phrase.
I don't like pro-Palestine.
Our leader.
Well, the assessments are that that is one of.
I'll say it again.
Follow on Ruben's question. Is radical Islam, in your view, the greatest domestic security threat Australia faces?
So in case you can't hear it, he asks, is Islamic terrorism the greatest threat we're facing?
Well, the assessments are that that is one of the issues that we're dealing with. But I want to deal with all of the threats.
Now, the way he does that, it's one of, but I want to deal with all of the threats. Yeah. Have you seen Cafe Lookout?
That's right. Have you seen Michael Greger? Have you seen Damo give a salute?
Extremist perversions of Islam leading to support for the ideology promoted by ISIS.
Oh, why isn't that playing? I'll see if I can get it to play again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
People, we've been doing the internet the last few hours, no problem at all. As soon as we started the show, good boom.
Yeah, they'll be all over this one time. I know, and I'm going to be
all of the threats, whether it be extremist perversions of Islam leading to support for the ideology promoted by ISIS, whether it be also concerned about the issue of sovereign citizens killing police.
Here we go.
Victoria and Queensland. I'm concerned about neo-Nazis thinking it's okay to march down our streets dressed in black, not worrying about their faces being covered, explicitly promoting that as well. Some of these things are not new. James Salim.
Anyway, it goes on and on.
Yeah, on and on.
But the thing is, I think I've never seen the government so separated from the
reality.
People. And it's been going on because the people are going this way. Nah.
Yeah.
Port Arthur, let's be honest, with Port Arthur, we were innocent. Oh my God, what? They're killing so many kids. Kids killed. Let's take your guns. Yeah, we're like in shock. We handed them over. Ain't going to happen a second time.
Well,
coming out going.
Well, funnily enough, there's more guns around now. You know what I mean? Like, because you can actually legally own a gun if you, you know.
The terrorist had 6 weapons.
I know. It's unbelievable. And they were like, 6. You know, I mean, you would think that would be more important than pursuing these, you know, neo-Nazi groups or Damo's Salute or whatever. You know what I mean? You think actually keeping an eye on these people and, you know, working out if they're going to go rogue. I mean, essentially, people with this kind of ideology who are Islamic should be deported. And even if they were born in Australia, they should have their citizenship revoked. I'm sorry. I think, you know, that's the level of where we need to be. But, you know, I also don't, you know, I'm not fond of the radical Zionism either. I'm not fond of what I've seen happen in Gaza. You know, it's horrible. Horrendous. It's horrible. And, you know, many of these groups.
What can we do about it? It's there.
Well, tell them to shut the fuck up on both sides. And if
they've been killing each other since we were born, before we were born.
You should say, listen, if you're into that, go to Israel and defend Israel, or go to Gaza, bye. And we'll put you on a, you know, as Pauline Hanson said, when we kick you out, I'll drive you to the airport myself. I'll throw my keys in. I'll drive any Muslim or any Zionist to the airport to get them out of the country as soon as possible, because
Yeah.
we don't
We'll
want
use
this
our
conflict.
flyer points.
And then what does the Liberal Party do? Because that was the reaction of the Labor. What does the Liberal Party do? You had from John Howard to that new woman, whoever, Susan Lay. She goes, oh, the problem is anti-Semitism. No, the problem is mass immigration. The problem is the radical Islam. And no one speaks of it. The only person who says it is Pauline Hanson. And of course, her stocks are going up and up because she's, you know, because we've basically imported bioweapons, which are these, you know, immigrants from these countries. These are human bioweapons that are going to attack us. And this is, you know, just the beginning. You can see this kicking off all over the Western world, and it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible situation. And the problem is mass immigration, and not the Liberal Party or the Labor Party will touch it.
Yeah, that's right. No, this is from ABC.
The real problem behind this massacre. Have a listen to the ABC's Laura Tingle talking about this.
Absolutely radicalised. These were targeting Jews. It is anti-Semitic, but we are ascribing all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, their actions are not based on their religion.
These remarks are absolutely appalling. They're deeply offensive. I think the ABC must unequivocally apologise. Journalists have an obligation to report the news impartially and accurately, and what she has said is so wrong on so many levels. To say this had nothing to do with religion when you've got extremist Islamists subscribing to an extremist ideology is just horrific. And this was a very significant Jewish festival, the first day of Hanukkah. So the ABC, from my perspective, has completely lost the plot. There's an ABC Act which requires them under law to be impartial, to be accurate.
Right, anyway, it goes on and on and on.
You know, I mean, what they do is they keep the oven and window. They keep the oven and window this small, right? You know, basically, you can you know, support Gaza maybe, or you obey the Zionists, but we can't have this other debate, which is like we don't want either part of it. You know, Aussies don't want to support either of them, and we're told we have to support one or the other. If you're on the left, you've got to support Gaza, and if you're on the right, you have to support Israel. And it's like, no, we don't want into this poison dialectic at all. We want out of it. You know what I mean? And we want to be able to criticize both. We want to be able to say there are radical psychopaths on both sides that are giving all, you know, the radicals on the Muslim side are giving all Muslims a bad name, and the radical Zionists are giving a lot of Jews a bad name. This is why it's happening. This is why you see, Islamophobia is on the rise, anti-Semitism is on the rise. This is because of the actions of psychopaths who are actually doing things. And you've got to remember, too, that what's been going on in Gaza, that's like 10 or 100 Bondi Beach things every day, mate. Think about that.
I hear. But the thing is, like, it's been happening over there since we were born.
Of course.
To me, there's nothing we can do except despair. You feel like, so look, we're going to cut you off from the rest of the world until you can answer two questions.
They need a timeout. They need a timeout.
How much blood has to spill before your thirst for revenge is quenched? And how many children do you have to bury before you go, okay, maybe there's another way? Maybe we could talk or something. Since there's no more children left to kill, that we're actually going overseas to kill overseas children. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's
why
crazy.
Not just try a different way? Or is it basically, no, one of us has to be eradicated and then we can talk?
The whole conflict is crazy. It's crazy on both sides, and it's sad, and it's terribly, terribly sad. And we just don't want to be. And it is pointless, like the Ukrainian war. It's pointless. It serves no point. You know, I mean, it's not as you really think that the Jewish people could not get along with all the Arabs around them. They've got a lot of money. They could probably do the right thing and look after people, and they get along. But they don't want that, it seems. So, you know, there you go.
Well, you know, it's the other interesting thing, though, I saw about that Muslim cleric. He said they don't have the problem with radical Islam in those countries like Syria and stuff. That's what he's saying, Egypt and these places, because he's saying they've all left. The West is just taking the garbage, and they've been left behind. That was his statement. But you said that he's a Jewish dude. I don't know, but I thought that was interesting. You know?
Well, look, you know, I mean, obviously, one of the side effects of all these wars in the Middle East has been the influx of Muslim immigrants to our country. The majority of them we haven't vetted. You know, we were taking immigrants from Iraq. You know, when America and Afghanistan. I mean, a lot of these people who were taken, these were essentially hatchet men, either for Saddam Hussein or for the Taliban. These are people who cut off heads, and they're going to live next door to you in your leafy suburb, and somewhere in Melbourne, or in Sydney or wherever.
From another point of view, exactly to that, we also brought in a lot of South Africans, and a lot of them were the police and the ones who brutalised people there. So a lot of people who've come to Australia have dodgy cars.
If they're white South Africans, we want them. We want them. The more the merrier. You know what I mean? Because we're going to have to get tough, ladies and gentlemen. They're the only ones who are going to be able to teach us how to run the show. We want the white South African police. We want the Sambok.
I set you up for that.
We want the Sambok, mate. That straightens people out quick, smart.
I literally couldn't have handed it over to you any better. I couldn't have.
No, I've got to. You know me. I know you're on the peace and love trip, but you've got to have me, the dark side of the force. On occasionally.
Yin and yang, man. Yin and yang.
That's it. Yin and yang. It's yin and yang tonight at Cafe Monday.
I thought, well, we won't survive to Wednesday if I bring Richard on Monday. So I thought we'd give a week. But listen to the story of this woman if you haven't heard it. This is a woman in England, and she was arrested because she shared a text about a guy, an insulting text about the guy who attacked her. And this is what happened.
I was actually in the bath. And
11
they opened the door themselves.
And just came in?
And came in.
And you were in the bath?
Yeah.
And what do they say to you?
Well, I heard my name, which was one female out of the lot of them.
And 10 male officers?
Yeah. And then I heard my name, and I thought, well, it might be my sister, because it didn't sound like someone who was... Because obviously I was upstairs in the bath. And then they just come up the stairs, and they didn't give me any privacy or anything. Like, I had
You were naked?
Yes.
How did that make you feel?
Disgusted. I'm really upset. I was crying my eyes out.
And what did they say to you? What did they say they were there for?
Well, I was just asking them, can they just leave the female officer, and can they please go downstairs? As obviously I was upset, and I had no clothes on, and they kind of wanted to watch me get changed, and I was very upset about that. In the end, they did send the males down the stairs, and the female officer sat with me. I was crying my eyes out. I was really upset. And then I said, well, what are you even here for? Because I was shocked. I was in utter shock. And she said, for malicious communications, hate crime and malicious communications. And I said, well, what for? And they said, we'll discuss that when we get to...
What she did is she was attacked by this guy, and she didn't post on Facebook. She didn't go on Twitter. She said in a private message to her friend, she said the F word for somebody gay. I mean, which is we can say it. We've still got some freedom of speech here. The word is faggot that she used, and for that, arrested, ladies and gentlemen, in a private communication. And this is why this is where it's headed. I mean, this is 1984 in the UK. I mean, it's not even a joke anymore.
No, that's it. But
and you got men you got Muslim grooming gangs up in the north who are raping underage girls and getting like 6 months, and you're getting somebody who complains about it gets 2 years jail. You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is the government being criminal, and this is a stage that's happened before. It happened in communism. That's one of the things is, once it reaches a certain level of totalitarianism that was ushered in through COVID, we all saw that they begin, because it all falls apart. If people can vote for Nigel Farage or a Pauline Hanson or Donald Trump, who's going to say no to all this, right? Which all those three candidates will. This whole charade that they've been working a long time to put together falls apart, and that's why this kind of politics is the new black, is the grooviest thing on the planet at the moment, because it's the only way we're going to save ourselves and save our nations from, because it'll come here, and this is just the beginning. All this rubbish. We've got to protect this.
Can I show you it here? Watch this. It's already. I got sent this tonight. Watch this. 20-minute neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I'll stretch it down. So this is basically learn how we are creating inclusive, vibrant, and healthy neighborhoods. Yeah, and this is Victorian government. And here it is. We said 15 minutes, but it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, they thought they'd give us an extra 5 minutes, so I've been generous, mate, This is the World Economic Forum, isn't it?
Yeah, man. And the digital ID, social credit score, cashless society, 20-minute cities.
It's coming, but there is a lot of...
It's not Nirvana. It's
I mean, this whole under 16 thing that's happened. I mean, obviously it hasn't really affected anyone I know. I know it's affected some people. It affected Robin.
Rob. No, Substack. I've had so many people contact me all day. They can't get onto Substack.
There you go. So it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
But about Substack is that's been the freest platform. We've had Rumble, but it's like a writing platform. There's so many great professors and intellectuals on there. And now
that's probably why they want to shut it up, mate. That's probably why they want to shut it up, because it's a place where you can actually write some things. And I know there's a lot of articles I've read at Substack over the years that are good. And it's unbelievable the world we're living in.
We're still on. I don't know why we're still on. Every time I go there, I expect to get age verification.
Maybe after tonight, you won't, mate. So
no. So if you got on my Substack, if we don't get on, I am not complying. So if anyone asks me for age verification, I'm not complying.
I can testify. Michael is over the age of 18. Many of you find that surprising. I know. I mean, surely AI can work this shit out. I mean, it's got to have some positive uses, doesn't it? Surely. But anyway, no one I know is really. And actually, I do know a couple of people lost a Facebook account because they were using, they weren't using proper, whatever.
Oh, I got the record for it.
Yeah. So
I got the record.
10 years, mate. You got 10 years.
10 years, man.
Unbelievable.
Lisa, if you're watching, Lisa will tell us.
You should sue. If you could, because apparently Facebook headquarters are in Ireland of all places, or there is some.
Wow,
some people who have.
And 100,000 people and stuff like this.
Yeah. You can crowdfund it, get yourself $100,000, and off you go to Ireland. You can film it and just sue Mark. Get your page back, mate. Because people have done it.
That's actually not a bad idea. I'll put it to some of anyone with money. Let's.
Yeah. Come on, this is a call out. We want $100,000, and with $100,000, I think the two of us could go. I think
actually, if they think I'm leaving Australia, probably Asia would pay for it.
That's right. Hang on. If I was leaving Australia, Mossad might pay for me. So
Now, I had something interesting happen the other day. We're on a caravan park. There was, or on a showgrounds. There was a woman next to us. Turned out to be a teacher.
Yeah.
Very happy with the state of affairs. Said her young teenage children are gloriously happy and positive about the future of Australia. And I said, they must be living in denial. And
they must be stupid.
So we didn't get on very well.
You got stupid kids, have you?
But what she said, this was really interesting. What she said was, I heard about you on 774 ABC Radio.
Yeah.
I went, I said, anything good? She said, just the facts. I said, so nothing good.
Nothing good.
But I thought, hey, 774, you're talking about me. You haven't even kissed me. You haven't even.
Well, I've had a very busy week this week. I've got a bestseller. A fantastic book I've picked up in the bookstore this week, which is Goodbye Road by Mr. Michael Gray Griffith. And I actually got sent a couple of copies, and I do a little book market every now and I sold them both today, mate. So it's pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah, really? Absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Thank you very much.
We should send you a box.
Send me some more. Seriously, they were popular. I mean, people were actually like, wow. Oh, wow. People know you, believe it or not. And I'd just like to say, this is great. And I like to agree with John Stapleton at the back. He says that in the introduction that Michael is Australia's greatest living historian who's going around documenting our times. And obviously, all of us have seen the odd essay pop up from Michael Gray Griffiths, get sent to us in our inbox as well at his Substack and various things.
Have you read anything but the back?
That's right. No, I've read. I found out that I didn't get much of a plug, and that Tom Vogel did. I'm most upset. I've been wanting to shine his head with a bit of polish, boot polish, and do a Benny Hill, but no. So there you go. Next book, I better be thanked, or else I'm not reviewing it.
Sorry. I didn't expect it to ever be published. That was John Stapleton. I was just.
That's all right. Look, I know you love Tom more than me. That's all right.
I feel for Tom more than you. He's been going through a lot of worries.
Wow, he's not so
really
bad.
Loving the book.
I like to stir him. I like to stir him. He's not so bad. He's a
great guy. But people,
I like to stir him.
I'm really moved. I'm really seriously amazed how it's selling. You know what I mean? So, so it's to say that basically the state cancelled me as a writer because I wouldn't.
Honestly, the book is good enough that, I mean, I know this is self-published, but the book really is good enough. It should be published by Penguin or one of these things, because I think
John sort of published it with his, he published it with Upstream Press.
Yeah.
But then there's no marketing for it. There's no publishing extra company that can. He's got no money to.
I think people want to hear these stories. You know, RFK's book has sold very well, and you've got books by what's the name of that woman? I can't remember her name. Naomi Klein, is it Naomi Klein or the other one? Yeah.
And we've changed it now to the Banned Book Company. So he's got his books on there. Paul Conlon has his book. So what people are buying, they're buying all the books. Yeah. So we set up, what we do is we market the book. So if you're a writer, you've written a good book and you can't get it marketed anywhere because, well, you're on our side.
It's the Banned Book Company.
The Banned Book Company. And people are coming in and they're buying groups of books. And
I've got a collection of my own essays. If you really want to publish something,
Richard, put it together, man. I think that's great. And John is brilliant at he edited the book, so he puts it all together and properly and stuff. So he was the one that did it. So
this is great. No, I've been dipping in all day because I've been working today, and just it's just great, reading some of these essays, and names pop up from everyone from the freedom movement, and of course there's just too much Tom Vogel, but what can you do?
But hey, you got a bookstore. If they're selling there, man, I'll send them down. No worries.
They're selling everywhere, mate. I think it's a hot item. People want to see. People really are a sucker for alternative opinions. People love it, and to have a reference book like that is fantastic for people. Collecting your writings, and so 5 stars, mate. Well done.
Sweet. I'm really moved. I can't believe it's selling on a. That's.
Yeah. Why not, mate? Why not?
People buying it from the bus. So we have a collection in the bus, and they turn up and stop and want to buy it. And it's lovely. You sign it there. You can sign it personally to them. And you just sign something positive like we're all fucked.
Yeah, I think I've got a message here actually. Very nice. Autographed copy. Very good, mate. Private message. So very nice.
Yeah, but it is. And I think your essays will go nuts because I'm telling people, there's David, who's sort of the more lefty intellectual than you, but still deep conspiracy theorist. I mean, he's the deepest rabbit. I can't believe he hasn't found the rabbit. He's gone so deep. He's
gone so deep. Yeah, he must have found it, and he doesn't eat it. He's a vegetarian. But his son eats meat.
He's got it at home.
He's got it at home. He's taking care of it. Now look, David's written many essays. David has written many. Yeah, well, it's funny. When I first met David 35 years ago, he was kind of like reasonably left wing, and obviously I was coming from the right direction, and we just always hit it off. And what's funny is we've both been able to see our points of view, and there are a lot of things that he said I wasn't down with, and a lot of things I said he wasn't down with. Now we're both pretty much on the same page about so much that we're somewhere in some kind of crazy middle somewhere. Going everything's fucked. But still, we can still do shows like this. I mean, things are bad, but we can fight back, and that's why I think it's important. We say we don't want hate or anger, but maybe we do occasionally need these emotions to motivate us to.
I think you have a very valid point there. I really do, and there's more
to get angry, like that network. You're a damn human being. God damn it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in that show Network, I want you to go to your window and say, I'm mad and I'm not going to take this anymore, kind of thing, because I think we need people to get angry, mate, and really say to the government.
People to get angry. I totally get angry, but I'm just going to put this up. I got all the no-goat shows into the San Juan Rumble channel. And what's fascinating about it, if you go back, they are really funny. I love them. Especially with the Robin was good, Ryan was great, all these people. But
I'm sure you could probably do transcript.
The initial 4 were effing hilarious.
Yes, you, me, David, and Damo,
David, and me.
The gold team, mate. The gold team.
Oh, it was great.
Very good. And you could probably get transcripts of all these shows we did and publish that. You know what I mean? And look, Tom Vogel. I mean, again, to bring up Tom, he could do all his transcripts from all these shows. I mean, any show. Robin could do the same. All the shows you have on Cafe Locked Out. And the good thing about having a physical book is, it just becomes real. It's real world, mate.
You can't censor it.
Exactly, mate. They won't be able to memory hole it if you've got a copy of the book
right.
sitting on your shelf, mate.
That's
they don't
right.
come in and physically, wipe out the words with, like the liquid paint.
To tell people, so what I did was I was at the, there's the one in there called the Steps of Solace. I was just in the action in Victoria early on, and you'd interview people all day, but then there'd be some residue of stories that had nothing. So I wrote them into an essay and I threw them on Substack and forgot about them. And I just went around Australia. Cret and Wendy would be in the van, and I'd just be in my swag, and I'd just write an essay from that day. And it was like a travel diary, really. I was just seeing things I was seeing. And it was John who approached me, John Stapleton, the publisher, and he said, mate, you've got to put these together. And he sort of started collating them all and putting them in order and stuff like this. But the money we needed to properly publish it, it'd be like, who knows? And there's just no point. So unfortunately,
well, it's fine to do it like this, but I think it has potential. And submit what you've got, submit it to some publishers. You might find someone brave enough. Whoever publishes RFK, people like that. Whoever publishes people like Naomi Klein, these kind of people.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
They might bite, and you might get a nice little 20 grand advance or something. So look, it's an exciting. It is a very exciting time. It's been an interesting year for movies and culture.
Oh my God, I've got to tell you this. This is gonna. So for the first 4.5 years of me doing this, or 4 years, or 3 years, whatever, however long it's been, what used to happen is when we turn up at gatherings, when people were just watching me on screen, I'd come out and they'd all go, "Wow, you're so tiny. You're so..." Every fucking time, no matter where I went, you'd have people going, "You're really short." And they like shock. Like in my head, I must have been like a 10.
You're not that short, mate. You're not like.
No, but that's the way they said it every fucking time. Now they don't say that anymore because they all know I'm short. Now they say, I've had it twice. I've had it twice in the last 2 days, but I have it all the time. And this makes us giggle. So I tell Kelly, and we're both giggling this. What they say now is, well, you know what, Michael? I love what you do. I think you're fantastic. Pause. No matter what people say about you.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
no matter what.
You've been subject to a bit of a smear.
And you're going, excuse me? So
you've been subject to a bit of a smear, as I have,
Yeah, but there's
another
smear going
I've mentioned your name around certain people, and some of them, I just go, shut up. Michael's a good bloke. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it, mate. Michael's a good bloke.
No, but what's funny though?
Is he an angel? Is Michael an angel? No.
To be an angel.
He isn't.
Oh my
God!
He's
He's
how heaven works. This is how you think. Look, can you believe? Say you got to heaven, right?
Yeah.
You're in heaven. You
a long shot with me.
I reckon you'd survive in heaven if you managed to get through, which you could, because I think you're far greater than what you think. So, but say you did. Say you were there for like 3 days. Walking around in your white robes or floating around in your white robes, feathers, wings on your back, playing the harp, and everyone you meet, you have to come up to and tell them sincerely, I love you. After 3 days, you'd rip your wings off, fly out the back door, go down to hell, run in the back door of hell and go, quick, someone, fuck me in the ass. I can't take any more love.
I don't know if I'd be saying that, but I think I like the idea that if there was a hell, that somehow if you got into heaven, you could maybe rescue the odd person. You know what I mean? Go down there and sneak them out, smuggle them in. I wonder if you get in trouble for that.
It doesn't make any sense, does
it? But like one of the interesting things, if there is a heaven, it would be basically to be like things like the Library of Alexandria would exist in heaven. It doesn't exist anymore, and you could read these 10,000 volumes that were lost to antiquity. We know I think about 5 or 6 plays by Aeschylus and Euripides, 10 plays.
Would you be disappointed if
they write 200? They write 200, mate. And
with the Alexander Library, would you be disappointed if you walked in there and most of it, like 80% of it, was porn?
Well, I'm sure some of it would be, but that's one of the great tragedies in my view, the loss of the Library of Alexandria, which if you watch a show called 2 great shows deal with that topic. One is Kenneth Clark's Civilization, which is 10 hours everyone should watch. And that's the importance of Western civilization. If people wonder, if you go, well, what does Richard always go on about Western civilization? Why is it worth protecting? Watch a show by Kenneth Clark called Civilization, not the new one that's woke with somebody with blue hair. talking about, how Ethiopians made Western civilization. That's bullshit.
And
it's the old one
friend.
where it's all European people, mate, Kenneth Clark. And the other show is Cosmos by Carl Sagan.
Oh, my God, Cosmos. Oh, I was so in love with his voice. I used to watch. My family didn't give a shit. They were like, "What are you watching this show for?" I was obsessed by it.
Both those shows make an old cynic like me, cry at moments, and in the beauty of the revelation of the glory of European man and woman.
The thing is with you, and this is true. The thing is with you now. I mean, you've read all the intellectuals, all the philosophers. But now is the time for intellectuals and philosophers. And that's what you've been doing with it. You know what I mean? So if you could start documenting it down in writings of what you think and what you're seeing, it's almost like why you're here, because you're right here and you're brilliant at it. You are staggeringly brilliant at it. That's why, even though like everyone calls me short, literally every third person come along and go, "You got to get Richard off your show." I go, "I'm not getting Richard off my show because he's great. I'm not doing it." Fucking so often. It's just like, yeah, whatever. And
well, that's a good review in a way. If they want to get rid of me, if they want to get rid of me, that's often a good review because obviously I'm saying something that upsets the right people. So,
I agree.
Obviously, I mean, I love philosophy. We could talk for philosophy for hours. I love doing that. Philosophy is the reason to exist, really. And, I love certain philosophers and, that's what I do in all my spare time, not all of it, but a lot of it, is just read on various things. Sorry?
Anything new you've read?
Anything new? What have I been reading at the moment? I'm reading. Well, it's funny. I'm reading two books at the moment. One on Alex Karp, the guy behind Palantir, who is, like building this kind of deep state surveillance thing. Like part of this guy is interesting though, because he's a friend of Peter Thiel's. He's a friend of Elon Musk. Not all of him is evil, but there's definitely an evil part of him. And then I'm reading a book on Bez from the Happy Mondays, who used to just take a lot of ecstasy and cocaine and have a good time in the 90s. And there's somehow a nice balance there between this kind of hedonistic rat bag and this, deep state, maybe CIA, Palantir thing, I'm fascinated by the, things like that. But philosophy rise, I always read Heidegger and Nietzsche and Hegel and, a guy called Emile Cioran I've been reading of late. I read the new book by Michel Houellebecq called Annihilation. It's about 600 pages long. Michel Houellebecq, his name is spelled Houellebecq. It's pronounced Houellebecq, but it's pronounced Houellebecq. And it's one of the most disturbing books I've read in a long time. Oh yeah. Like it just fucks you up.
Like, about it. Is it basically saying we're on the road to annihilation?
Well, sure. That's part of the theme in a way.
Nice.
It's just, it's set in France. It's set in France. This guy, he's got all his family stuff going on. And he works for like a Macron kind of figure. And there's this weird terror group that are doing these weird satanic things and producing videos of terror attacks and people getting guillotined that look real but aren't real, that are like deep fake, but at a level that, is just unheard of, So it's a very strange novel. I don't really want to talk about it too much.
It's a novel. It's a novel, okay.
Annihilation, yeah. And it's just, it kind of is a bit slow in the middle, but if you stick with it, it's got an absolutely devastating ending. So there you go.
Wow. Okay, Annihilation. This is what we should be doing books. So that's a popular dumb book, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah. That's out from whoever publishes Michel Houellebecq. But I love all his books. He wrote a book called Submission, probably around 15 years ago, that was about what will happen when France becomes taken over by Muslims, which was obviously demographically where it's heading. And it's set it was set about 20 years in the future, about 10 years ago. And women have to wear the veil, and Jews are no longer safe in France and have to flee to Israel. And this is probably going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's it was very controversial because he got accused of being racist, of course, blah 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 blah. But he's not really that way. He's
anything you do now to question the government, you get labelled racist, misogynist. Did you see the thing they did? This pissed me off. Let me see if I can. What's wrong with my mouth?
Pull that up, mate.
I just saw this. It's just I thought I was out of things, but this thing upset me more than anything today. I thought this was disgusting, and I'm pretty sure I shared it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is the front of the West Australian newspaper. Okay, watch this.
Yep.
And before I post it, I have to say to the journalists who did this, you are seriously disgusting and need psychological help.
Yep.
Here we go. How we stop this pig becoming a monster. Call for DV lessons at schools to address the menace of toxic masculinity.
What a load of rubbish.
Front page. The reason we have a high suicide rate in the country, one of the main reasons for suicide amongst men is shame. And that is the state shaming our young men. Women out there, if you've got a son, I recommend you call the West Australian and you rip him a second arsehole. And fathers, now is the time to speak. This is absolutely, utterly disgusting.
Yeah, they don't want strong men, basically. They don't, because that basically strong men will defeat this agenda. You know, this slavery.
But they don't care about hurting your boys in it. Now,
and I know you say you want to love everything, but I don't want to love that kind of agenda. I want to fucking hate it, mate. And I want to hate the people behind it. I'm sorry.
No, neither do I, yeah.
They deserve to be hated. No, I'm not talking about, you and I are pretty nice guys, and we get along with most people we meet, particularly if they want to engage in conversation. But there is an evil agenda, and we've seen it from COVID to all these terror attacks to these wars, these pushing these agendas on children. This is all fucked, and we need to hate it. And and we shouldn't be afraid of hate. They always go on about hate speech. Fuck off. Okay, we need to hate these things. Okay, and we're going to need to say some things that people aren't going to always like. And it's like, someone got offended. Like, I don't care if anyone's offended. You can't go through life not being offended, mate. Anyone watches this show is going to be offended. I'd say, hang on, some community, the Muslim community was offended. This community was no, fuck off. Okay, we need to offend everybody, not because we want to be arseholes, because we just need to maintain this wonderful civilization that we've all been part of for a long time, most of our lives, and generations before that, for hundreds of years, thousands of years, if you want to go back. So that's the importance.
Now, Damien Richardson, I was going to send Damo an invite to see if he'd pop on, but I don't have his email in here unless he's got a new email. Either way, or do I address it to one of the jails? Do I address it to one of the jails and see? Well,
the decision came in. Did you hear that? He has to just do some. He has to just do community service or
Jewish.
He has to go and look at a pile of shoes in the Holocaust Museum.
Jewish ass kissing. Let's be honest. He has to do some Jewish ass kissing. He's got to. Let's be honest.
Got to kiss a rabbi's bottom, mate.
Not putting the shoes down, not putting Damo down, but that's the actual fact. The verdict is.
This is true.
Jewish ass kissing. That's it.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit, mate. Yeah, just a tiny bit.
Little bit. No tongue. And
I'm sure, knowing Damo, he is not going to enjoy that. But we shouldn't laugh because
knees haven't been good since the marches. All that marching's fucked his knees up. He's never been good. So getting down on them is not going to be good.
It's ridiculous. All these.
Have Damien Richardson's friggin' email. Do you have it?
No, I don't, mate.
Yeah.
But anyway, mate, get him on for a special show, maybe. But also, too, I think to some extent they've silenced him. They've got him on some kind of good behaviour.
I don't know if you haven't insulted tonight.
I don't know if he can, come on and really, I don't know. It's up to him.
No, I wouldn't put him on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it's a terrible thing that's happened. But as somebody said, this could happen in Melbourne. This could happen, at any kind of event.
It's coming here. It is coming here. If you don't think what's happening in England isn't coming here, you're bonkers. Yeah, and the only people who don't care are the people that just, I don't know, they're happy with it. Because one thing you said prophetically from the first time we started doing these things is there's a lot of people out there who love dictatorships, who love living under dictatorship, who love totalitarianism. And you said that's one of the secrets no one wants to talk about, is there's a group of people that love it.
And there's a show I'd like to recommend to people at the moment. It's on SBS, SBS On Demand or whatever. It's called Mussolini, Son of a Century. This was a book that dealt with the early days of the rise of Mussolini, who obviously he invented fascism in 1919 after World War I ended. And it's actually really, really fascinating. Like it's about 8 hours in miniseries. The quality is like The Godfather. It's that good. And it's extraordinary. And it's told from Mussolini's perspective. It said, listen, you've heard about me. You've heard about fascism. But by the end of this series, you too will be a fascist. You too will love it. And you'll be with me. You know, because I'm inevitable. And you think I've gone away. I'm here right now. And that's sort of how it opens.
That's a great way to end it. Anyway, I've got this headbanging song to finish off with you tonight, unless you've got someone else you want to insult before we go.
No, I'm not insulting anybody.
You're brilliant tonight. You're staggering.
No, thank you, guys. And it's always good chatting. And, love this book, mate. Send me some more copies.
Thanks, brother. Thanks. Do you know that was taken? They had that sign, Australian Under Free. That was taken a minute or two before they shot Matt Lawson. First person to be shot by police. First protester to be shot since Eureka Stockade. So,
next time, sit in the studio and do a kind of GQ kind of number.
Bring a baseball bat. So it's like
I'm gonna have to be your manager, mate.
Okay, this is the head banging. Get ready for it. Get ready to bang your heads. This is especially for Richard. This is a song promoting hate. It'll stick in your head. Sorry about that. See you guys. Good night.
See ya.
Good night.
After your brother died, you didn't have to bother with me. I'd fucked up again until every bridge should have been in flames. But as I was packing up what little remained, the phone rang and it was you. And although you never spoke the actual words, what you said to me was, Michael, always believe in love. Oh, Michael. Watch you walk down my streets together, you in the front of your man lost in your boy. You're speaking a language of pausing across the road or sorting the shopping items each will carry home. And although you have never noticed me, I can hear you both whispering, and you are whispering to me, Michael. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. Oh, Michael. Always believe in love. You were singing on the stage with your sisters, dancing to some rainbow fairy tale. Your voices were all small and out of time. Still we pressed record and held up our candle phones, for despite the flames of our burning world, we could all hear the angels singing. Oh, Michael. 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 Always believe in love. We're alone and lost somewhere on Facebook. There's a gorilla loving a fallen human child, and we're all wrestling with shadows while wondering if inside the dark we will finally find flower that perpetually grows. Oh, Michael, in that garden our gods call. Oh, Michael, oh, Michael, oh, Michael, oh, Michael, oh, Michael, oh, Michael. Always believe in